Hello everyone! Hello everyone, welcome back to Fables. I don't know what that was. This is Kim. Okay, so I have exciting news. Way of the Panda Tarot is officially finished. Every single card, all 78 cards of Way of Panda Tarot is done! Sorry. RIP headphone users. But yeah, that's what I'm here to talk about. It's done, and it's gonna be, I'm launching it in April, and I'm getting everything else ready. I'm working on a booklet and a guidebook and everything, you know, I'm just trying to get everything ready. And for March, it's gonna be really exciting. I'm gonna be celebrating this deck. I'm gonna be rolling out this deck. It's called the Panda Rollout. So there's gonna be lots of like challenges, giveaways, free gifts, and live events on my Instagram and my Facebook group. So if you don't want to miss out on anything, because there's lots of good stuff coming, like there's lots of prizes that you can win and all kinds of exciting news about the Panda deck. And also if you don't want to miss out on the early bird offers of Kickstarter campaign and when it launches, etc., make sure you subscribe to my Behind the Bamboos newsletter. So that one is just like specifically for the Panda Tarot, for Way of the Panda Tarot. So if you're already on my main list, which is recently renamed the Adventure Times, I know it sounds like the cartoon, but it's not. But yeah, Adventure Times, if you're probably gonna get like 1 to 2 big major announcements, but you want all the all the contest, giveaway, challenges, details, and more background information about Way of the Panda Tarot, make sure you sign up for that list. And plus you get this free gift, which is like a panda personality quiz ebook, which also has some journal prompts in there and like a tarot spread. So make sure you go download that. It's free and you can stay in tune and stay updated with all the panda goodies that are happening in March and just anything, everything panda. Okay, so that's that. So that is the free gift, which is a panda personality quiz. If you want to find out how much of a panda you are, you know, how much of a inner panda that you have, you can really go take that quiz. And you can also sort of find out more about this deck and kind of the spirit of this deck. So if you want to, you know, just learn more about it and see, like, you know, like intermingle with the ideas within that pandaverse, you can go download that little book, and you can also watch this video, which is about the panda archetype. So yeah, I remember I did one video on the panda archetype before, and that was when I first discovered panda as an animal totem. You know, usually when we think of animal totems, we would think of some of the more popular ones, I guess, would be like the lion, and we see the lion all the time on Tarot's Strength card. I think we see elephant a lot because like elephants are very spiritual animals, they're very wise, they're very human, or they're very connected to spirit in a sense. And a raven or crow, you know, they're often viewed as spiritual messengers. But anyway, every animal is a totem and they all represent something. But for the longest time, like when I first made that video, I just never thought of panda as like an animal archetype. But you know, it is an animal, and every animal has its like you know, given set of wisdom and everything. So anyway, that's beside the point. The point is I'm going to be talking more about the panda archetype in this video, and just gonna share with you my insights on pandas and how I sort of portray pandas in my deck and why I want to make this deck, and also what pandas could represent for, you know, could sort of be like an animal totem, spirit totem, somewhat like the unicorn totem. You know, unicorn's very popular and fashionable these days. A lot of people identify with a unicorn archetype because a unicorn is very creative, it's very unique, it doesn't really care about conformity, etc. I love the unicorn archetype. I definitely have a very strong unicorn archetype, but I also have a part of me where that's, you know, that likes to go with the flow, doesn't mind conforming as long as it doesn't really require me to sacrifice my individuality. And it's not really conforming, it's like, you know, it's more about like peace loving, caring about social harmony. And sometimes that doesn't need to come from a place where, oh, it's like to conform or not conform. It's either me on my own, or me not being me in a group. So, you know, like I think a panda could sort of like panda is like an interesting totem, animal totem, and archetype because it's black and white, which kind of taps into this idea of a dichotomy, but at the same time it sort of breaks the dichotomy by acknowledging that you can still be yourself in a group, and you can also be yourself on your own. Anyway, that's beside the point though, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like pandas are, it's sort of like a rising archetype. Like, I think there's this sort of desire, you know, with the millennial generation, we're all very entrepreneurial, very creative. We all want to create our own businesses and pursue our individual dreams more. So I think that's what gave rise to the unicorn archetype. And I feel like we need another archetype to represent more like to us peeps who are more introverted, who are peace loving, who love the simple life, who also has a unicorn within us, but who also have a panda within us, right? I think it's useful to have like a panda, to have like a language like that to talk about ourselves. Anyway, that's again beside the point. Okay, so let's talk about why I want to create this deck, and it's really because I wanted to capture the gentle wisdom and spirit of the panda. And for all the reasons that I just mentioned, I feel like we needed like an archetype. We needed like a way of life or a way of looking at things that's really, you acknowledge the dichotomy, you acknowledge the struggle and the conflict, but at the same time you're able to, you are not affected by it. You're sort of like, you have your own awareness, you have your own way of being, you have your own way, you have your own way of panda. You're like very at ease with everything that's going on. You can be part of it, but at the same time you don't need to. You're sort of like, you can go in and out of context based on your will. So it's very carefree, like it's very carefree spirit, and I feel like pandas are perfect animals to represent that. You know, they're very cute, obviously. They're very adorable, very affectionate, and if you just look at their way of life, like as animals, if you just look at their habitat and stuff, it doesn't seem like they do much. You know, they just chew on bamboos all day, they roll around, they sleep, they sometimes are too tired to like procreate, you know, so they kind of became the hallmark for lazy people. But I kind of just feel like, that's so misunderstanding. Like, pandas are, I think by human standards, lazy, but if you just look at them as pandas, that's sort of their way of life. That's how they spend their existence, and they always seem so happy about it. So I kind of want to take that spirit of being carefree, being playful, doing the simple things that you love to do, even though it might seem repetitive and boring to some. I think especially for more extroverted people, it's like, why are you being such a panda? Why are you at home all the time? Why are you not out there and socializing and hiking, or, you know, typical expectations of you, placed upon an individual for them to be social and active and confident or whatever. You know, there's this image of being active and confident in Western society especially. So the panda spirit is about like acknowledging what you love, the simple things that bring you joy, and just doing them because you love them. There's no other reason that you need to be doing those things, and you don't really care about how people look at you. I mean, pandas don't, they're not self-conscious. I mean, I don't think none of the animals are self-conscious, but pandas are just, I feel like they just have this least self-conscious vibe to them, because they're just, yeah, I'm eating, I'm cute, I'm rolling around, I'm still cute, I'm sleeping, I'm still cute. You know, it's like this really carefree, lighthearted spirit that I absolutely love with pandas, and that's one of the reasons why I want to create a deck featuring just pandas. And I've also grown up with pandas all my life. There's always some panda plushies around, and of course I'm Chinese, so panda is obviously like very dear to my heart. You know, it's also, you know, pandas are also like associated with Taoism because of the black and white color. You know, it looks like a yin yang symbol. And then I'm also doing this deck in watercolor, so sort of like is sort of reminiscent of like the minimalistic brushstrokes of Zen. And I do want to say though, I didn't create this deck to represent Zen or Tao or any of the Eastern philosophies. I will say that I'm inspired by ideas from Tao and ideas of Zen, because that's what I grew up with. I didn't grow up with Zen, but I grew up Buddhist, you know, like my family is Buddhist / Taoist. It's kind of like a mixture, but I also grew up with the love and light of the New Age literature, a lot of the Western thinking. So this deck is sort of like a mixture of all of those things. It's like a bit of Eastern, it's a bit of whimsical, magical, it's a bit of like Zen, it's a bit of Tao, it's a bit of just having fun in life and enjoying life. So it's like everything, but it's also none of those things. And that's one of the things I also like, this feeling I get when I feel like I'm channeling the panda spirit. When I'm channeling them, they're just like, oh, you think I'm wise? I don't think I'm wise. If you say I'm wise, okay, I'm wise. I'm still cute though. And if they're trying to be wise, if pandas are trying to be wise, if they're trying to teach you something, they will never tell you that it's what they're doing. They're just like, oh, you learned something. That wasn't what I intended. Cool. I kind of feel like that's sort of how they roll. You know, they're like really non-intentional with everything. They're just always in the moment, and I kind of feel like they would never intentionally try to teach something. They'll just be like, oh, you learned something from me. That's cool. Want to go get some bamboos now? So yeah, I think that's sort of the spirit of this deck. It's really playful. It's kind of like, I'm a bit of Tao, a bit of Zen Buddhist, a bit of like whimsical, magical, a bit of like Western New Age, but I'm none of those things. If you want to put those labels on me, sure, but I'm just a panda. I'm just a panda. Okay, I'm just panda. What was I talking about?